All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on MMAUnhinged. Today we're joined by Nick Bagley. How's it going over there?
All good, mate. All good. Thank you.
Yeah, it's doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. And yeah, joined at the new GBTT top team gym, which is fantastic. I like it. Look at the facilities; it's amazing. I was talking to Brad Pickett yesterday about it, and it's just phenomenal that how he's gone from a gym like above like a house, and now he's here. So it's phenomenal.
Mate, it's exactly the word you just used, phenomenal. Everything
Yeah.
you need is around here, so the only thing they're missing is beds, so that would be perfect because you could just sleep in the gym, eat, sleep, train, repeat.
Would that be something you'd be fond of? You would like a few beds at the gym?
Yeah, mate, why not, take a few naps between sessions here and there, or maybe even just crash here for the night, or just move in here, just train full time.
I know they do that at American Top Team. They have like bunks in like the actual facility. So maybe soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
So I want to touch up on your last fight against Scott Pedersen. It was your Cage Warriors debut, and in that fight, it looked like you were going for a wrestling game plan. You came out heavy with the leg kick, shot your double, and got the fight to the floor. Looking at the start of, before the fight, was that the game plan to take the fight to the floor? Did you see any weaknesses that you wanted to exploit, basically?
Honestly, I looked at his 2 fight on Cage Warriors before, and I did see an opening for a shot. So obviously, I did expose it in the fight. But other than that, the game plan was simply to just come in and dominate, whether it was on the feet or wrestling or whatever.
So was the wrestling and the grappling where you see yourself having the more success in the fight against Scott?
I just knew it was going to be there for me if I needed it or wanted it. So, and I was right. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I mentioned, that you came in the first round, you came out sharp with your heavy hands. You landed a few crisp punches, and then you landed a really heavy leg kick. Looking back at the fight now, do you wish you stayed on the feet a little bit longer?
You know what, my coaches and a lot of my teammates kept saying I could have just ended it on the feet, but at the same time, of course I would have liked that as well. But in the fight, you never know. You can be cracking someone and punch them the wrong way on the head and break your own hand. So I'm happy with the way fight turned out because I came out injury free. The only injury I had was quite bad canvas burns on my feet, but they're all healed up now. So it's all good.
Yeah, it was your Cage Warriors debut, and before that fight, you didn't have an exclusive deal with them. So it was kind of like you were fighting for a contract, which eventually you did receive. So did it make it more meaningful and a little bit more pressure that you were kind of trying to have to make a statement so you get that contract?
Here's where I'm going to correct you because I had a multi-fight contract deal prior to my debut with them. It was only announced after the fight. That's the only difference.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So now you've got the contract. How does that make you feel? Or you had that before?
Good, man. I just feel like I can rely on Cage Warriors to provide me with fights and good competition level. I'm not gonna have like as many pullouts to deal with. Hopefully, yeah. Because when you fight on smaller regional shows, it's a bit like all up in the air when it comes to matchmaking and your opponent actually making it to the fight. Do you know what I mean? So with Cage Warriors, I feel a bit more like I can rely on them to provide me with these fights, so they can keep me busy, and as well as that, give me the platform to showcase myself to the world.
Yeah, 100%. Cage Warriors is a fantastic show over here in Europe and especially the UK. It's a huge stepping stone for yourself to, when you get to the Cage Warriors, if you get a belt in Cage Warriors, it's a great league to get to the UFC. And I know you said in previous interviews, that's where you want to get.
100%. I don't know many fighters who wouldn't love to fight in UFC. I mean, that's where you want to be. Do you know what I mean? That's highest of the highest level in the sport. Of course, there are other options where you can make a comfortable living and stuff like that, but UFC is where it's at, and that's where I want to go.
Yeah, I want to touch up on your on the second fight that you had against Luke ONeil. It was a second pro fight, but it didn't go down on your official record. What was the reasoning behind that?
No, pretty sure Luke ONeil is on my official record. It's the fight after that, I think, against Andy Nunn.
Oh, Andy. Yeah, that's the Andy Nunn. That's the one. Yes, sorry.
They classed it as exhibition bout.
Yeah.
Topology overturned it into exhibition bout for whatever reasons. I don't know. I'm not in contact with Topology, or I don't really know what kind of company they are. Do you know what I mean? But that's just how he ended up being on the official websites. But I wasn't even originally meant to be fighting him. I had a decent opponent, but he pulled out, and then other people signed up, and they pulled out like fight week. So Andy Nan was literally a body they put in front of me just to get me out there, because I had a whole camp done, and I just wanted to get out there and actually put on a performance that I've been working for.
And the performance is what you did put on. You landed that flush flying knee, what ended the fight. Was that a tool that you used in this camp to set up for the fight to finish it?
I've trained a bit of flying knees, but it wasn't really a game plan. But I do like a flying knee. It's one of the weapons that I'll be going to in my future fights for sure.
Yeah, so now heading back to your career, as you mentioned earlier on, that you came out unscathed from your last fight. Is there a possible return date where we could see Nick Bagley back?
Yeah, next March London card, I'm hoping to get matched for. So, fingers crossed, you'll be seeing me there.
I presume there isn't an opponent in mind yet, but once that gets officially announced, that'll be, as you mentioned there, March.
That's it. Yeah, March 18th. Pretty sure.
March 18th in London. Yeah. Okay, so we've got quite a big March because we got the UFC coming in March, and now we've got the Cage Warriors in March. So it'll be quite a big month.
Yeah, I think UFC is straight after Cage Warriors, literally next day.
19th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you only had one fight in 2021, and you had a whole year layoff as well since your second fight. Was that frustrating, not having to fight, not fighting regularly? And I presume you would want to be more active.
Yeah, of course, it's super frustrating, but I feel like that break just allowed me to improve as a fighter overall. So when I did come back from that 1 year layoff, it wasn't a layoff. I was still grafting my ass off every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I stopped training and just watching TV all day long, eating cookies. I was eating cookies, but I was training, twice a day, along that. So, as you saw, like I made some improvements in my game for sure, and I feel like I'm much more of a solid fighter year later since. So, it might have turned out it was probably the best outcome that there could have been.
Yeah, 100%. You had a very long and lengthy amateur career, and I feel like if you're an up and coming fighter, I feel like you should have a lot of fights in amateur because it helps you build and learn for the professional game. Did you feel the same, that you wanted to have a lot of fights in the amateur scene so you get ready for the pro game?
Yeah, 100%. It's literally that's where you want to take all your learning lessons from, your amateur fights. The competitions that you do on the mat, like jiu-jitsu competitions, kickboxing competitions in the ring, a few boxing fights here and there. I've done all of that. So that's what I feel when I turned pro, and my first pro fight was nothing new to me. Do you know what I mean? I've been there many, many times. It's just longer rounds and more time for me to impose my game. So if anything, pro fits my style much better.
Because you can throw elbows, knees. It's more your style, as you mentioned.
100%. Like so many times in amateur fights, I was stuck in certain positions, and I was just thinking, "Oh, if only I could elbow you from here, you'd be dead. You'd be." Do you know what I mean? So now I can do that, and I can throw some flying knees along the way too. So.
Yeah. So your last amateur fight, how did you know it was the right time to transition to pro?
You just come to a point where you just know, and I got to a point where I was fighting high level competition. So my last few amateur fights, they could have easily been pro because of the experience my opponents had and just the level So I thought, yeah. So it's like there's no point in keeping on doing those amateur fights because I still train for them the same way I train for pro. So it's wear and tear on your body, but you don't get anything out of it except from actual experience. But you still get the same brain damage in the fight. Amateur or pro, you still get the same brain damage. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I might as well turn pro and start building myself up as a professional and get something out of it, which is the goal.
Yeah, and as you mentioned there, getting some out, you're earning money when you're a professional game as well. Amateur, you're fighting for free, so that's also a plus.
Exactly, yeah. So you get a little change for your cookies.
So my last few questions is I'll move on to the GBTT, the gym you're in currently right now. It's a world-class facility, and looking at the old gym and looking at it now, does it feel kind of surreal that you're in you're in this surrounding?
I don't know. I wouldn't say surreal. I would just say it just feels how it's meant to be, sort of thing, and like almost like a bit of a homecoming. Like when I first walked into the gym, I was like, "Yeah, this feels like home." Do you know what I mean? It's like it's no longer like borrowing someone else's space. This is my space where I belong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it felt like.
With the facilities that GB top team and how they've gone, excelled massively from the old gym to this gym, do you see them helping you progress as a fighter even more quickly now?
Yeah, of course. Everything's under one roof. I don't have to go anywhere else. If I want to do a second session in a day, I just chill around the gym and then do it. Or if I want to go sauna after a training session, or if I want to go and do some extra S&C, it's all here. I don't need to go anywhere. And my coach is here. Do you know what I mean? It's like perfect for a fighter.
100%, I agree. And then my last question is, what's in store for Nick Bagley in 2022? I know you've got that March 18th outing, but what about the rest of the year?
Just loads of wins and progression as a professional fighter. You'll be seeing me and hearing about me quite a lot.
100%, I agree. I can't wait to see what's in store for you for this year. I feel like you're going to really put yourself on the map, even more so than you already are.
Exactly that. I can't wait myself, honestly. I can't wait to show you and everyone else just more about myself.
100%, I can't wait. GBTT, I've really got some incredible fighters coming through at the moment, and you're definitely up there with one of them.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining me, Nick. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you the best of luck this year, and I hope you had a good Christmas and a good New Year.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.